Hello, Danny Johnson, flippingjunkie.com. Today we're going to talk about how to determine accurate repair cost. It's something that a lot of people struggle with when getting started flipping houses. If you don't know how to accurately determine what the repair costs are going to be, you can't determine what you should offer for a house. And if you're not accurate, you could end up really messing things up and losing money on the flip. So let's talk about how to accurately determine repair cost when you don't really know much about construction and fixing up houses. Basically, the first step is to find an investor-friendly contractor. And it's very important that it's an investor-friendly contractor. If you just go and start calling contractors out of the yellow pages, they show up in their Hummer and start telling you that it's going to cost X amount, which is double what you should be paying for it because you're also paying for their Hummer. You need to find the investor-friendly contractors. And in finding investor-friendly contractors isn't really that hard. I mean, if you look in small local classified papers like Thrifty Nickel and American Classified, you can find a lot of the guys in there. And in the big paper, the ads are more expensive. They might be a little bit bigger companies. You can find them in there, but typically I look in the smaller papers like the American Classifieds, Thrifty Nickel and things like that. The ads are cheaper, and the guys that aren't a big operation are in those. They have ads in there, so look for Handyman and stuff like that in those. Another place is the local real estate investor association meetings. Just drew a blank there for some reason. Real Estate Investment Association meetings, the RIA meetings. You go there, and sometimes contractors are there also looking for work, and so they go to those meetings, and you can find people. If you don't meet a contractor there, you could talk to other investors at the meeting and ask them. And a lot of times they want to keep their contractors busy, and if they don't have work for them, they like to find work for them from other investors just so that the contractor is still friendly with them and give them good prices on the ones that they do fix up. Another place that I like to find great contractors that are investor friendly is Driving for Dollars. When you drive around looking for vacant houses that need a lot of work, you keep your eyes peeled for houses that are already being fixed up. Look for rehabs that are taking place that other investors already have. You can stop at those houses and talk to the contractors, look at the work they're doing, and get their business card. And that's a great way to find an investor-friendly contractor. And once you find a couple investor-friendly contractors, what you want to do is view some houses with the contractors. One at a time, obviously. So you view houses with them, and what you're going to do is look at houses similar to what the types of houses that you're going to be flipping. Similar to what you want to flip. Apologize for my handwriting. Hopefully you can see that. And you look for what majority of flippers are flipping. You want to have that sort of price range, typically just under median price range for resale value of houses most people are flipping, to get an idea of what the cost to fix up a typical house is going to be. Sometimes you'll have some lower end properties, and sometimes on occasion you get some higher end, but the bulk of them are going to be in a certain price range, and those are the houses you want to take these contractors to. And so in order to do that, you can look at some vacant, bank-owned houses. The vacant bank-owned houses, the REOs, you can have a realtor schedule to go and look at those houses, and maybe one or two, and have your contractor come over there with you. And then another place is the houses that contractor is already working on. So if you found them driving for dollars, you can use the house that they're already working on. And so what you want to do, you want to view the house of the contractors and basically take a ton of notes. Don't let this time go to waste. Ask the contractor to go through the house and give you estimates to repair every single thing in the house. You want repair estimates for roof, flooring, different types of flooring, cabinets, bathrooms, retiling, water heater, AC replacement, everything. Just go through and ask about cost for everything. Painting, just every single thing you can think of, and write down and keep track of everything they tell you. And a lot of it's going to be price per square foot and price per square for a roof and things like that. And so it becomes a lot easier to estimate the repairs on the houses you look at if they vary in sizes, because you got the price per size. Square foot, square, gallon, all that kind of stuff. And it'll make determining those values a lot easier. So that's the third step. Get prices to replace everything. Every single thing in that house. Get prices for that. And even if it doesn't need to be replaced, you need to have them, give you estimates on it. And, you want the prices that other investors are getting to do the fix-up and the materials, because you're not necessarily knowing which exact materials you want in there, which brand of light fixture, which model, and all that kind of stuff. But if you say, give me the price for the typical investor grade material that they use, the guys that you've worked with before, and then they can give you prices for that. And I'm running out of space, so I'm going to go ahead and erase this. But basically, find investor-friendly contractor, view some houses, and get prices to replace everything. Then we're going to move on to step 4, which is spending time at the big box stores. So, step 4, spend some time at Home Depot and Lowe's. Now what you're going to do at Home Depot and Lowe's is you're going to write down SKUs, prices, and take pictures of materials that are on the lower side but look great and look more expensive than they cost. And just keep a spreadsheet of all those materials so that when you do go to fix up a house, you kind of already have an idea of what you're going to be using and the prices for those materials to help you estimate the repairs. So write down SKUs, prices, and then take pictures of some of the materials like bathroom vanities, stuff like that, so you have an idea of which one it was, and you don't have to go back to Home Depot every single time. And then what you also look at what the competition is using. That says look at what other investors use. You want to look at what your competition is using. You want to drive to these other rehabs, these other houses that are for sale that were already fixed up, and take a look at what they've got. If there's an open house, stop in, take a look. Take a look at what kind of materials they're using. And you might notice a lot of investors tend to use the same kind of materials and colors and everything like that. So if you can come up with some other materials that look better, that cost about the same or cheaper, your rehab is going to stand out from the competition and you're going to sell the house a lot faster. So that's a great tip for you there. And then number 5 is basically, none of this is a huge deal if you're wholesaling. So if you're going to be wholesaling a property, really just to have a general idea of what costs are for a fix-up, so you can have an estimate for your buyers. Your end buyer is going to have to do their own due diligence to make sure that they have an idea of the correct amount for repairs, but you're just getting an estimate, a rough idea of what the repair costs are going to be for when you go to find a buyer to buy your wholesale deal. So if you're stressed about finding out exactly what the repair costs are going to be and you're trying to learn, if you get started with wholesaling, it's not such a huge deal. You can learn and you can get feedback from your investor buyers. When you tell them it's going to need 10,000 in repairs and they come back and say, well, I think it's more like 15, you can start to get some experience and learn from doing that. So I always recommend starting with wholesaling. But I've given you some great tips on becoming an expert at determining repair costs for flip houses. I hope you enjoyed it.